after miracle. And so they literally chased Jesus to find him. And this is where we're going to pick up the story in the Gospel of John chapter 6, verse 25. It says, when they found him on the other side of the lake, they asked him, Rabbi, when did you get here? Jesus answered, very, very truly, I tell you, you're looking for me not because you saw the signs I performed, but because you ate the loaves and you had your fill. Verse 33, for the bread of God is the bread that comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. Sir, they said, always give us this bread. Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never go thirsty. Jesus made 7 key statements about himself in the Gospels. These are known as the 7 I am statements. He said, I am the light of the world. I am the door for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the vine. But the very first statement that Jesus makes about himself is he says this. He says, I am the bread of life. Jesus knew exactly what these people were after. They weren't seeking him because they saw supernatural acts. They were seeking him because they wanted some more bread. And the crowd doesn't get it. They just want some more magic bread that they'd seen yesterday. So Jesus gets really explicit. And he says, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger. Whoever believes in me shall never thirst. But the crowd start grumbling because he's not multiplying the bread and the fish like he did the day before. Instead, he starts saying, I am the bread. Chapter 6, verse 42, they say, isn't this Jesus, the son of Joseph? We know his mum and dad. Verse 43, Jesus answered them, said, do not grumble amongst yourselves. In other words, I don't just want to fill your belly for a few hours. I want to give you something even greater. I want you to eat from me. I am the bread of life. I want you to eat living bread, feast on me, and this bread, unlike the bread you experienced yesterday, you can be satisfied forever. And Jesus draws this connection between the universal experience of hunger and our universal experience of spiritual hunger. You see, all of us have been hungry and we've eaten food to satisfy that hunger. But Jesus says, I'm going to address a greater hunger than even a physical hunger. I'm going to address your spiritual hunger. You know, our world is so desperately hungry right now, and they are looking for something to fill that gap. Materialism, money, new job, drugs, sex. People are looking for something to fill the hunger in their lives. I think Bono speaks for many when he sings, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And it was in this moment that Jesus addresses something which is even greater than just a natural need for food. And I think that the very existence of this desire which Bono sings about and Jesus speaks about is a testimony to the existence of God. Because we all know people who have everything materially, yet they have nothing. And Jesus addresses this issue in this statement. The very first statement he describes himself, he could have described himself as anything in the world, yet he describes himself, he says, I am the bread of life. In the passage, the crowds, chapter 6, verse 24, were seeking Jesus. Verse 25, they found Jesus. But the reality is this, not all of them found him. They were seeking another handout, but Jesus offered them something greater than a handout. I am the bread of life. That doesn't seem such a big statement compared to the day before when Jesus said, here's some free bread. But Jesus knew that there was something even greater that we need. Some of them probably heard what he said and just walked away. You see, in our culture, bread is not such a big deal anymore. Bread is an extra. Bread is a freebie. Who loves bread? Some of your hands are straight up. Bread is the appetizer before the appetizer. Even before you order your appetizer, the bread comes out. Bread is a side dish. Bread is an entree. Come on, let's just have a show of hands. Has anyone ever gone to a restaurant and they bring out the steaming, warm, hot bread with the honey butter, which you guys do so well? I mean, they stick honey and butter. We've never seen that before. Has anyone ever stuffed out on the bread and then when it comes to the mains, they're like, I'm not really hungry?
Yeah.
Your pastors were so gracious, they took us to the Golden Corral last night. It's a true story, yeah? Pastor Laurie said it was her favorite, so we went to the buffet. He's loving it. Have that going for your trouble. We were at the Golden Corral and they brought out the bread. We didn't really go there, okay. It was Panda Express. But they But before the dish came out, we were demolishing the bread. But the reality is, in this day and age, nobody just goes to a restaurant for the bread. We go for the steak. We go for the curry. We go for the chicken. We go for the calamari. I mean, you don't go to Chick-fil-A for the bun, do you? I mean, the bun is just helpful. You don't go to the Indian for the naan bread. You want the curry. You want the chicken tikka masala. The bread has just become a small part of our restaurant.